Dear students, let us revise once again what the Mendel did in his first experiment, that is monohybrid experiment. So Mendel in his first experiment, he called that experiment as monohybrid experiment. So that is, he considers only one character in the pea plant. So that character which he observes in the plant is the length of the stem. So the length of the stem may be tall or short. So he crossed a tall pea plant with that of the short pea plant. So the tall pea plant has got ovary and the pollen part, that is the stamen part, is neglected or it is removed. And here in the short plant, the pollen is considered. Means the pollens from the short plant were made to get transferred onto the stigma part of the female part of the flowers of tall plant. So fertilization took place and it produced a number of seeds. So by sowing those seeds, he got the first generation plants. So here we get the first generation plants where all plants were tall. He might have ended the experiment by this stage. See, he continued the experiment and these F1 generation plants were made to get self-pollination. So why he did the self-pollination in the first generation? Here, to study the characters of the pea plants, so that is the to study the inheritance of the properties of the plants, characters of the plants. First he crossed a tall plant with that of the short plants. So in the progeny, so what would we expect? So the plants obtained in F generation might be having a height medium to these two plants. So these plants would have got a medium height in the stem length, but all plants were tall. So what is the genetic constitution of these plants? So here he considers the tall character in the tall plant, so has got two factors. So since this is a pure tall plant, he obtained a pure tall plant where, so in the chromosomes of the reproductive cells, so he guessed that there are two factors, so where both two factors denote both the tall characters. Here the capital letter T denotes a pair of genes called alleles, so where both are having the character for the tallness of the plant. Here we find both the factors of the character, so is denoted by small letter t, which denotes that the character consists of two factors, so both are denoting the short character of the plant. So the next generation plants had got which type of genetic constitution, that was unknown. So to know the genetic constitution of the progeny of the first generation plants, he self-pollinated these plants. See, what is self-pollination? As you have learned, the pollen of the flowers of the tall plant were made to transfer onto the stigma part of the same flower. So the self-pollination took place in a tall plant. So there fertilization took place and it produced the seeds. So when these seeds are sown in the next generation, which is due to the self-pollination, it resulted in the generation of 4 types of plants, where 3 plants were considered as tall and 1 is short. So here he calculated the percentage of the type of plants. So it is not true that the plant produced only 4 plants, means plants produced only 4 seeds. Here a number of seeds were produced in the tall plant, which is resulted due to self-pollination. So when these seeds are segregated, how these can be segregated? They sowed those seeds and those seeds up, and among those seeds, the three parts of the seeds were said to be tall and only one part is said to be short plant. So to know the genetic constitution of those three plants, here you can see all the three plants are looking tall. Here the genetic constitution of the one plant, here it consists of both the factors of the character. You can see here it's a capital letter, so the character is having both the genes for tallness. Here you can observe these two plants have got genetic constitution comprising of one capital letter T and small letter t. So this capital letter T denotes the tallness and short letter denotes the short character. Here these two plants have got the mixture of both the factors, both tall and short nature. Whereas in the fourth plant, so it is having the two factors which is denoting both two are denoting the short character. Here these three plants are said to be tall. Among those three tall, one is pure tall and another two are short plants. So when we consider the parental plant here, so the parental plant had both the factors denoting the tallness. So this character was not seen in the first generation, but when we self-pollinated this tall plant, again we got the parental character. So that is, one plant was having the characters similar to that of the parent. Here these two are said to be the result of the combination of both the parents, where one gene from the one parental plant and another gene from another parental plant, so it get mixed up to result in again a tall plant, but the genetic constitution is having both the factors of the character, that is the tall and short. Whereas in the another plant, so it received only the short nature of the character. Here what Mendel concluded was, here any character in the organisms is having two factors. So one factor is always dominant, and those dominant factors may be together, or instead of both the dominant character, there may be another recessive character in that, like this. But when there is a combination of dominant and recessive character, if only one factor of the dominant character is there, so then it denotes the character of the dominant only. So the recessive character, if it has to express its character, so it has to have the both recessive factors in that. Then only it shows its character. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಜೀವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಗುಣವು ಎರಡು ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದು, ಒಂದು ಅಂಶ ಪ್ರಬಲವಾದ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅಂಶ ದುರ್ಬಲ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಪ್ತವಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ರಬಲವಾದ ಅಂಶ ತೋರ್ಪಡಿಕೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಂಶ ಇದ್ರೂ ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಗುಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದುರ್ಬಲವಾದ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಪ್ತವಾದಂಥದ್ದು ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಇದರ ಗುಣ ಕಾಣಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ಸುಪ್ತಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಅಂಶ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಗುಣದ ಅಂಶ ತನ್ನ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎರಡೂ ಅಂಶವನ್ನು ಒಂದು ಸುಪ್ತವಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ತನ್ನ ಗುಣವನ್ನು ಅದು ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಮೆಂಡಲ್ ರವರು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. So you can see here the checkerboard so in this checkerboard you can see the combination of the gametes of the male parts and female parts. Here this can be denoted as the pollen and this can be denoted as the ovules. So the combination of the ovules and the pollen so can be seen in these four boxes. So here the two factors of the tall characters, here you can see the here the two factors can be seen where there is a factor for tallness and another factor of character. So that is the short character. So which is again a tall plant, but the composition is having both the factors. Here again this tall plant is having the combination of the two factors, whereas in the fourth plant you can see only the recessive character, that is the short character. So again what we can conclude is, so any character in the organisms is having a pair of contrasting factors. So the character having the contrasting factors includes one dominant character and another is recessive character. Here we observe only one character, so that is the length of the stem. So the tall character of the plant is always dominant, whereas the short nature of the plant is always recessive. So this is the conclusion of the Mendel's first experiment. Let us study about Mendel's second experiment. So Mendel did his second experiment on garden pea plants. Here it is called as dihybrid cross. So in the dihybrid cross, he chooses two characters in the pea plant. So what are those two characters? He chooses the seeds of the green, that is garden pea plant. So the first character was the shape of the seed. So the shape of the seed was round. So here you can see the round seed. Here you can see a wrinkled seed. So the first character he chose in the garden pea plant was the shape of the seed. So round seeds and wrinkled seeds. So second character was the color of the seed. So color of the seed was considered as green and yellow. Here, so you can see the seeds which are round in shape and green in color. Here you can see the wrinkled shape seeds with yellow color. So here we denote those factors present in the character by the alphabets. Here capital letter R denotes the round shape of the seed. Here small y denotes the green color. So here I have written two types. So this denotes that for any character there are two factors. Here in the round shape, so it is a allele. It is called allele. A pair of genes is called an allele. So these alleles will be there present on the chromosome. So here in this plant having round shaped seeds and the green colored seeds, so there will be a genetic organ, maybe the male part or female part. So male, if we consider male means pollens. So in the pollens, the nucleus will be having chromosomes. So on the chromosomes, so there will be a locus. So locus means a position. So that position will be containing one character. So many characters are there in this chromosome of the garden pea plant. But here we consider two characters. So first character having the round shape and green color. So will be present at one place. So this is called locus. So this locus consists of two genes. So a pair of genes is called allele. So this allele consisting of two factors. So here I have denoted here by the capital letter R and R. Here small letter y represents the green color of the seed. Here y capital letter and small letter. So here for your understanding, scientists have said that so this capital letter denotes dominant character and the small letter denotes the recessive character. So what do you mean by dominant and recessive? So when we look at the plant, so the character will be seen to our eye. So that is the appearance of the plant. So in the plant, so the seeds are looking round, means here it consists of the both next generation we see the round character of the seed, but consisting of both the factors. Here you can see the dominant factor, that is round, and this recessive, that is the wrinkled factor of the gene. Both are present, but it is looking round only. So why? Because if only one factor of a character is present, that should be a dominant, then it looks like that of the dominant factor present in the gene. So here Mendel crossed two pea plants. So the one plant was having round shape and green color seeds, whereas here another plant was having wrinkled seeds with yellow color. So when he cross fertilized these two plants, so he obtained certain seeds. So those seeds, when they were sown in the next generation, they generated a particular amount of seeds. So once those seeds were sown in the next generation, so all the plants were having these characters. Those seeds, when we observed those, it looked round shape and yellow in color. So what happened to the green color of the seed and wrinkled nature of the seed? So those factors of the character were hidden in this plant, but they were not shown in those plants. So here you can see the round and yellow nature of the seed, but inside the plant, the gametes contain these recessive factors. The small r denotes the wrinkled nature of the seed, whereas the small y denotes the green factor of the character. So when he cross-fertilized round and green color seed plant with that of the wrinkled and yellow colored seed, the yellow colored plant, so he obtained all the plants which showed the characters where the seeds had the round and yellow nature. So to know the genetic composition of the plants he got in the F1 generation. So he is self-pollinated in this plant. So a number of plants obtained by cross-pollinating these two plants. So among that, one plant was selected, and in that plant, so a self-pollination was made. So self-pollination means he took the pollens from a flower and he transferred them onto the stigma part of the same flower. So that denotes or that gives us information about the parental genetic composition. So when he self-fertilized this F1 generation plants, so how that crossing of the gametes took place. So for this we have to use this checkerboard for the various combinations of the gametes present in the ovules and the pollens. So ovules and pollens are said to be the gametes. So the ovules are consisting of these combinations. Here you can see the F1 generation plant having both the factors of the characters. So capital R denotes the round nature, whereas the small letter r denotes the wrinkled nature. Capital Y denotes the yellow color, whereas small y denotes the green color. So when this plant generated the gametes, so the ovules contain all the possibilities of the mixture of these two characters. So capital R with capital Y, capital R with small y, small r with capital Y, small r with small y. So what do you mean by this? Say round color shape may be having yellow color, or round shaped seed may be having green color, whereas the wrinkled shaped seed may be having the yellow color, whereas the wrinkled seed is having the green color. Here the same property. So here this is a pollen and these are number of ovules. So when these two were combined, so we can see in this checkerboard here we we can write the ovules on this row, and in the vertical row, the horizontal row, we can write the ovules, and in the vertical line we can write the pollens. So here the combinations of all the patterns of the combinations of ovules and pollens can be written here. So what Mendel got in his self-pollinated plants. So here the self-pollination was done in the first generation plant. So the 9:3:3:1 plants were obtained in the second generation. See, what is this number? How can we get particularly this number of seeds? So that was the percentage of seeds obtained in the F2 generation were considered. So Mendel was a person who had the knowledge of both science and mathematics. So when he got the seeds of this F2 generation, he collected them and he sowed them in the next season. So when he obtained those grew up, so the plants grew up, and he observed the nature of those plants. So among the seeds, among the plants obtained by self-pollination, he obtained round and yellow colored natured plants, so which were having 9 ratio. So here when I consider a number of seeds, so total number of seeds 350, 108, then 101 and 32. So when I add all these things, so he got 556 seeds. So when he self-pollinated this rounded yellow colored plant, so he obtained nearly 556 seeds. So when he sowed these seeds, so among these plants, so when these seeds were grown and the plants were obtained, so he observed those plants and he observed the nature of the seeds also. So when he observed those plants, among the 556 plants, so 315 plants were having this type of nature, that is, they were having round seeds with yellow color. So whereas another 101 plants were having a wrinkled nature in their seeds and yellow colored seeds. So another set here you can see 108 plants were having round colored seeds and which are looking green color, and another set, so which are said to be a lesser in number, so that is 32 plants were showing the seeds with wrinkled nature and green color. So when we consider all these plants and we take a proper ratio of this number, so we will get 9:3:3:1. So here it is called phenotypic ratio. So when Mendel did the dihybrid cross means so the plant was having the 2 characters. Plant will be having so many characters, but among all those characters, Mendel he chose only 2 characters in them. So there are these round and wrinkled nature of the seed and green and yellow colored nature of the seed he considers, and particularly observing these 2 characters in the plants, he obtained the ratio that is 9:3:3:1. Here you can observe in this checkerboard. So here this is a pollen and this is a ovule. So when these 2 are fertilized, so we can get this type of plant, round and yellow. Here you can notice both the factors are the capital R only. So here you can see both the letters are capital, means the 2 factors denoting a character both are prominent or this yellow color is dominant over the green color. Here you can see this plant is again round and yellow. So here round gene is there, together with that wrinkled gene is also there, but it is not showing the property of the wrinkled nature, it is showing that round nature only. So how many plants are having the round and yellow nature? So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these 9 plants were having a particular type of character, that is it was having round shaped seeds with yellow color. So he obtained 9 plants, so that is the ratio, so in which the plant was having this character. So you can see another 3 plants. Here you can see 1, 2 and 3. So these 3 plants were having another type of the combination. So these were having round seeds, but they are looking green in color. So when we calculated the seeds and they grew up, so nearly 3 round and green. So the 108 plants were showing this nature. So you can see another set of plants, that is this one, these 3. So these 3 were having wrinkled color, wrinkled nature seeds with yellow color. So this proportion was here wrinkled and yellow. So this proportion was 101. So nearly it is having the ratio, it is 3. So you can see the last, so very small number of plants he observed, that is having both the recessive characters. You can see smaller and smaller. Since they are both the factors of the character are represented here in the genetic combination, they showed the wrinkled nature with green color. So these seeds are having only 1%, so that is that only 32 seeds were showing this wrinkled and green character. So what Mendel concluded from this experiment? So in the earlier experiment, he selected only one character in the plant, so that he told that the character of the plant, what we see in that was, that is the length of the stem. Length of the stem was having the 2 factors, that is one is tall and another one is short. So tallness always is dominant over the recessive. He concluded this one, and that was called as law of segregation. Here this experiment he said about another law, that is law of independent assortment. So what is that law? So the allele of a gamete received for one gene does not influence the allele received for another gene. So here 2 genes are there. See, 2 genes are representing 2 characters in the plant. So one gene is having round or wrinkled, and another gene is representing the green or yellow color. So here this round nature will not influence over the green. So both genes get independently assorted. So when there is a gamete formation, you can see the gamete formation here. So the gamete, while there is a gamete formation, maybe ovules or pollens, so those characters are independent of each other. You can see the round nature in yellow color. See so the yellow color is segregated, and here you can see the green color. Again the round nature is not paired with the yellow nature. So the round nature is pairing with the green nature. So like this, here you can see the wrinkled nature is pairing with the green color, whereas here you can see the round nature is pairing with the yellow. Here you can see the round nature is pairing with the green. So like this, the allele of a gamete received for another gene. So this is one gene. This is one gene. So this is another gene. So here you can see the round seed with green color, and here you can see the wrinkled nature with yellow color. So here the genes does not influence the other type of gene. So this is the conclusion made by the Mendel in his dihybrid cross experiment.